Hey everyone, welcome to this week's video. First of all, I apologize the lack of videos the last few weeks. It's been completely hectic and chaotic, but now it's going to be a little quieter and we'll get back to our weekly videos on the Torah portion and other relevant topics. So first of all, let me tell you about last week. Last week I had the privilege to be in New York for the annual Kinus HaShluchim, the conference of the emissaries of the Rebbe. Thousands of my colleagues that came together to inspire each other, to learn from each other, to celebrate. It was a beautiful, beautiful weekend. Truly a privilege to be there. Seeing my colleague from Fushan, China, and hearing his story of how he started out as a secular Israeli in China and then became religious and then went back to Israel and then came back to China to do business, and the community said, maybe now that you're a religious man, you could become our rabbi. Incredible story, beautiful, beautiful story. There was a simultaneous kids program, which my son Mendel, 13 years old, participated in. I said, Mendel, who did you meet? He said, I met the kid from Ghana. I'm like, kid from Ghana, the Jewish kid, the Chabadnik from Ghana. It was truly incredible. Beautiful to hear what my colleagues are doing. The Shaliach in Nigeria that has schools for 3,000 Nigerian children. Really phenomenal what's going on around the world. I encourage you to check out whichever country you fancy, find out what's going on, including right here at University of Chicago. Today is Rosh Chodesh Kislev, the first day of the month of Kislev. Kislev is the month of Hanukkah, of course, but in the Chabad Hasidim, this has special meaning because in 1977, right at Simchat Torah, the Rebbe suffered a tremendous heart attack that put him out of commission for about 3 or 4 weeks. And it was on this day that he was able to go back home and get back to some of his routine. And that was truly a great day of celebration for Hasidim. He was in his late 70s at that point. And it was a pretty precarious situation. Actually, a doctor from Chicago, Dr. Ira Weiss, who's at Evanston Hospital, at the time he was at Northwestern. He treated the Rebbe, and I just heard from him last night what that was like, and so on. Truly a beautiful day that the Rebbe got better, which enabled him to lead the world jury for another 15, 16 years, until unfortunately he suffered a stroke in 1992. Of course, his inspiration continues. And with that, I want to tell you something about the Parsha on that inspiration. So this week's Torah portion, we have one of the most enigmatic, confusing stories in the entire Tanakh. When I say it's confusing, not because it's hard to read or because it doesn't make sense, it's because it's hard to make sense of it. So you have Yitzchak and Rivka are married and they have 2 sons, Jacob and Esau, Yaakov and Esau. And the Torah tells us right there, Yaakov is a man of tents. He sits in his tent. He's a calm, maybe an introvert. And Esau is a hunter. He's great outdoors in the field. He's an outdoorsman. He's a man with the bow and arrow. And Yitzchak wants to give a blessing to Esau, the elder. And Rivka hears this and says, no. We can't let that happen. Quick, Yaakov, go prepare the goat, get the food, and you'll bring it, and you'll dress up in Esau's furry clothing, and being that Yitzchak can't see, he won't know who you are, and you'll get the blessing instead. And that's what happens. And of course, Esau comes in, and he is furious, broken. The emotion that we see in the Torah is almost unusual. Torah seldom displays emotion. It's usually very matter of fact and leaves the emotion to our imagination. But here you have Yitzchak trembling when he realizes that Yaakov, who gave the blessing to, was not Esau. And Esau screams bitterly when he realizes he's been fooled by his younger brother. What is going on over here? What was Yitzchak thinking? What was Rivka thinking? First of all, why did Yitzchak want to give the blessings to Esau? If he knew that Esau was a bad guy, which according to the commentaries he raped women, and the Torah itself tells us that he married 2 Hittite women right before the story. It tells us he married 2 Hittite women, and they were a grievance to Yitzchak and Rivka. So by the text of the Torah, we understand that Yitzchak knew that Esau was up to bad stuff. Why did he want to give him the blessing? And of course, Chassidus puts on its lenses and looks at it deeply and says, when you see something that displays bad behavior, evil traits, it is possible, and oftentimes, that the spiritual source of whatever that means, the divine source of that may be greater. It's just lost in translation. As it descends into our world, it falls lower. And Yitzchak hoped and prayed that if he would give Esau those blessings, perhaps it would reveal this latent, hidden, completely concealed good and divinity that may actually elevate him. But Rivka didn't think so. Rivka was afraid that the opposite might occur. Rivka was afraid that if he got those blessings, the blessings of power, blessings of wealth, that it would actually embolden Esau, that he would abuse them and would be unable to channel those blessings to something holy. Okay, so here we've got a bit more of a mystical interpretation, and it's all good. But what does it mean for us? By the way, I want to just add that there are many interpretations to this story. Even some that say that Yitzchak, that Rivka and Yaakov were wrong and that Yaakov was punished. Many interpretations. One of the beautiful things of the commentaries on the Torah is there are so many different interpretations, and I encourage you to read them. But what does it mean for us? I think what this means for us is that we have to know that when we see someone who may be doing the wrong thing, maybe we have a negative view of them, we have to think that maybe there's some goodness in there that is latent, that is hidden. And maybe the fact that I see it is because I have the capability of revealing that good. Maybe I should work a little harder to bring out the good in that person, to help them grow, to help them become a better person. Put on the positive lenses. See things positively. See things as they might be in God's eyes. Something holy, something divine. And then work at it. Let's work at it. And when it's our children, whether it's our colleagues, our friends, and they annoy us, don't just write them off. Try to give them a blessing. Try to reveal and lift them up. You never know the impact a friend or a colleague, and certainly a parent, could have is truly life-changing and profound. Anyway, that's my thought for the week. With that, I wish you a good Shabbos. I just want to say a special happy birthday, 90th birthday, to our dear friend, Dr. Ed Kaplan, dear friend in the community. May you have many, many happy, long years in good health with your wife and your children and grandchildren. Mazel tov, happy birthday.